And Coulthard has lost 3 seconds in the midsection of the current lap that they're on. Whether he's been off or got some kind of problem, I don't know. But Coulthard definitely losing some time now. Zanardi away. He was lapping in the 37, Zanardi. I guess all they could do is stop and give him another set of tyres as soon as they could get into some kind of strategy fuel stop window for this race. But Zanardi having an appallingly slow, and Coulthard's missing.
Where is he? What's happened to David Coulthard? Is this a McLaren out? Mika Häkkinen goes through, and David Coulthard, and there's been a big shunt. We believe Villeneuve is involved in a crash as David Coulthard comes into the pit lane there, out of the race. Thank heavens he's obviously all right. This is the first BAR retirement, and staggering into the pits and out of the race goes Coulthard. Well, there we are. That is the Achilles heel of McLaren reliability. Now that means Eddie Irvine is up into second place. Heinz Harald is third. We've seen one McLaren go out. What about Mika Häkkinen? Can he keep going? This may be the aftermath of that shambles in the McLaren garage just before the race started, when Mika Häkkinen went back into the garage, had work done on his car, got into the spare car, got back into the race car. Coulthard came in.
Well, this is the accident. Look, I think he lost his rear wing, because that's not a driving error. That's a rear wing falling off the BAR. Not the first time this year. Happened to him in practice as well, in private testing, I should say. And that was a big scare for Villeneuve, just minding his own business, flat out, 175, 180 miles an hour, and boom, the rear wing goes. All of the aero is on the front of the car. Look, here it goes. Yes, rear wing falling off, and then a big accident. Somebody doing very, very well behind him there to miss him.
It's Zonta. You remember Zonta was battling with Jacques Villeneuve. Now, this is the critical point. The safety car is coming out. This means to say that Eddie Irvine and the rest of them will close up with Mika Häkkinen, the race leader. This is the procedure. You're looking at the race car now. You can see that its lights are flashing. What happens is he lets them all catch up. The leader will form up behind him, and then the rest of them, and eventually the safety car with the lights will go out. He will come into the pit lane, and he's got Häkkinen behind him.
Yes, he's got the race leader, so he let Zanardi through, which is a stroke of luck for Zanardi, so he can now go back all the way back round and join the tail end of the field with his new tyres. So he's going to gain a lot of the time he lost in the pits, having that very, very early stop. And I think the reason they would have stopped there, they would put the safety car out, is the debris on the racetrack. It's very easy, especially with these carbon pieces, to pick up punctures, and they've really got to go out there and collect that Villeneuve car in a very tricky part of the racetrack into turn 11. There's no space there. It's very, very high speed, and really you don't want marshals out there trying to clear a broken car away with everybody else, even under, I think, waved yellows. I think they're right to bring the safety car out.
There is Michael Schumacher tucked up behind Jarno Trulli. He is in 7th position, and the time gap, of course, between him and race leader Mika Häkkinen has been reduced to a much, much lower figure. But in order to get to grips with Häkkinen, Michael Schumacher has first of all got to get past Trulli's Prost. He's got to get past Fisichella's Benetton, his brother Ralph's Williams, then Heinz Harald Frenzen's Jordan. Eddie Irvine, who's in 2nd position, has got it written into his contract that he must let Schumacher through. But will Michael get there?
Safety car in at the end of this lap. So race resumes. You can see Häkkinen backing him up again. This is almost a restart, and he's lost 18 seconds. It's cost him very dearly. Wasn't worth coming in for a pit stop. They're not into a fuel window yet. It's too early in the race. So now Häkkinen's got some work to do. But just before Coulthard packed up, the two McLarens definitely eased off by a couple of seconds per lap. I wonder if they got a message from their pit saying, you know, remember there's telemetry on the cars. The pit knows exactly the temperature and pressure of everything on the car, saying calm down, cool down, because something is too hot on the car. Häkkinen's got a lot of work to do with a Ferrari climbing all over his rear wing as they head into the pit straight. Häkkinen slow away. Häkkinen very slow away. And what's happening? They're waiting for a green flag, I think, because they're hovering. And Irvine takes the lead. No, Häkkinen's got a problem.
Häkkinen's got a problem, look so! What amazing! He must have overheated because up into second place goes Ralf Schumacher. Ralf Schumacher in the Williams is second. Heinz-Harald Frentzen is in third place. Ferrari leads and Trulli is in fourth place. And Fisichella's
Here's
got
Frentzen, look, Frentzen taking second. And touch again, that's the front wing gone from the Benetton, and De La Rosa running wide. Barrichello having a second go, and he's got a problem too. Let me tell you what happened on the restart. Häkkinen didn't get away, and Irvine was smart enough to realise he mustn't pass until the start-finish line, which is a long way down the start-finish straight. So Irvine had to hover until they went over the white line. Then he could go for it. Häkkinen had no acceleration, and look, coming
That's
through there.
Trulli
coming
through,
through.
taking Schumacher. So he's up into third position behind Heinz-Harald Frentzen. And Michael Schumacher is going to benefit from all of this. And Eddie Irvine is now leading with Mika Häkkinen still running. Eddie Irvine is leading a Grand Prix in his own right, justifiably. He's done one in the past on tactics and then let Michael Schumacher through. But Eddie Irvine could win this race, and Louis Goodman is with David Coulthard.
David, I guess reliability was always going to be an issue at this race.
Yeah, no, reliability was always a question mark for us, and in the end it's a hydraulic problem. We're not sure whereabouts it lies, but it meant I've lost the drive of the car.
Any idea what's happened to Mika?
I think it's the same problem.
Right, thank you, Louise. Thank you, David, and regrets for you. But meantime, Eddie Irvine is pushing like mad now to get away from Frentzen in second place.